As a bankruptcy firm, Mitchell, Cunningham, and Bowling realizes many people are worried about their finances. We're here to guide you through the next steps to restart your life with easy video appointments. New clients don't have to leave home to get information about becoming debt-free. Also, convenient in-office appointments are available at the low cost of $340 upfront for a Chapter 13. You can be on your way to being debt-free. Contact Mitchell, Cunningham, and Bowling today or visit our website at mcdebtfree.com. We are here to help you.
Mississippi's trusted weather experts. This is Mississippi Live Weather This Morning.
Hey, good morning out there to you. I'm meteorologist Maggie McCauley. Thanks so much for tuning in with us this morning. We're starting off with some rain on our radar this morning, so that's what we're going to be looking at before we get again into that all-important weekend forecast out there for us. And I just got a text from our meteorologist Gabe Maynor saying some sleet is being reported in Blue Springs. So kind of zooming in, showing you where that is again along 22 this morning. This is where we're looking at with the potential, maybe a little bit of sleet mixed in there, showing up on our Mama Justice radar just as rain across the area, but that's along 22 again happening. We'll look at that Blue Springs MDOT camera in just a second, but some light showers happening around there. And the further north that they are, it is cold enough. It is, we're seeing a bit of a temperature split and difference across our area this morning. So definitely something we are going to be watching. And these are very light showers, so nothing too impactful that does fall out there this morning, but still keeping our eye on that. And of course, if you see anything or run into anything this morning, make sure to send it in the chat, email us, and let us know. But bigger view, not honed in on 22 in Blue Springs this morning. Some light showers happening across the area, especially in northeast Mississippi out here for us. I have some of my tags showing out there this morning. But anyway, some of us seeing some light shower activity from Boonville, Lee County, Monroe County, down into the Golden Triangle region out there this morning. I hope you have your cup of coffee and you're ready to go, because we have a whole lot to talk about coming up in the next few minutes. So let's get into it again. Light shower activity happening right now. Let's look at the overall temperatures, because again, potential sleet reported in Blue Springs. Nothing that's too impactful out there this morning, and very light shower activity. Overall, most of us though sitting above freezing. So even the sleet that does fall looking to melt once it does hit the ground out there this morning. Temperatures warm out there, 42 in Tupelo, 44 in Houston, 46 in Starkville. A little bit cooler though the further north that you go, 35 South Haven, 31 in Tunica, 38 in Senatobia out there this morning, 37 in Oxford. So the further off to the north and the west that you go, the cooler you're starting out this morning, even potentially low 30s happening over in Tunica. But the further out to the east you go, further down south you go, the warmer things do get, which is where we're seeing the majority of that rain taking place this morning. Let's look at that Blue Springs camera. I have Blue Springs looking at 22 in just about every direction you can imagine out there this morning in that MDOT traffic camera. And yes, temperatures, again, in the 40s out there. So some sleet potentially hitting the ground, should be melting once it gets there. And again, not causing any travel disruptions, at least for this morning. You can see that 22 looking in all directions over there in Blue Springs. Let me show you another look out the door this morning. Taking a look down in Mabin, Mississippi, seeing some just plain rain out there across the board. You can see it kind of surrounding the city of Mabin and even impacting some of our camera as well. You can kind of see those dots overall on the camera. Temperatures in the middle 40s out there as well. So here's the overall look again at our current alerts out there, and there is a lot. I want to show you nationally what is going on, and we're seeing winter storm watches. That's those counties in blue, and a lot of our counties included in that light blue color. This extends from New Mexico, Texas, portions of Oklahoma, all the way over into the East Coast. So yeah, winter storm watch impacting a good portion of the United States, and for us here as well. Also, there's some other winter alerts that are being issued, and that I wouldn't be surprised if we see some issued as well. Already seeing a winter storm warning issued in Oklahoma for a good portion of Oklahoma down into Texas as well, and even up in Omaha and up northern Illinois, Minneapolis as well, seeing an extreme cold warning. So this winter system impacting a lot of people in a lot of different ways. And that's going to be including us here in North Mississippi as well. Take a look at our current alerts across the area. Again, I told you we are included in that winter storm watch. Good portion of the area included in this as well, from Tunica, Coahoma County, all the way into Lowndes and Lamar County. Only two counties not included in this is Noxubee and Pickens County. Now, yesterday, if you were with us, you could have noted that the northern half of the area was included in this and not the southern half. Our counties are kind of split up between which National Weather Service issues our alerts. The northern half, Memphis issues, the southern half, the National Weather Service in Jackson, Mississippi issues. So Jackson got on board yesterday, and now a lot of our counties in this winter storm watch. What does that mean? It means conditions are favorable to see some winter weather impacts going into the weekend. So again, National Weather Service keeping their eyes on this as well. Here's a look at your first 12 hours ahead. Temperatures 40 at 8 a.m., 47 at 11 a.m. We'll be into the 50s today and really around average for this time of year. About a 10 to 20% chance of some showers as we head throughout the day. More likely this morning than we're going to be seeing it later on in the afternoon. So I think a lot of us stay dry, even with seeing some rainfall out the door this morning. Temperatures go back into the 40s as we head 8 o'clock and on. Now, as I said, we're around average for this time of year today, but cold air is on the way. Take a look at your temperatures across the nation. Right now, we are looking at Thursday, cold air across the northern United States. Again, that's where that extreme cold warning was in place, again, in Nebraska, and folks up to the north, Illinois issued in some of that as well. We're going to see this take a dip. So watch as I shift this into Friday. That cold air is going to be taking a dip further off to the south and more impacting the southern United States into your Friday, and then even further in as we head into the weekend. So the Arctic air is not something we also want to take lightly, of how cold it's going to be and for how long it's going to be sticking around. So definitely another thing we're going to be looking at. Let's take this day by day. Again, we are going to be talking about what's going to be going on into your weekend, but we're going to take it day by day first, right? We have today to get through. This is 3 p.m. out here on your Thursday, looking like a lot of cloud cover into your afternoon, shifting further into the day ahead in the overnight hours, still looking like a lot of clouds out there nonetheless. Going into your Friday, I do want to say this and kind of stop here. I know everybody wants to know what's happening Friday into the weekend. A lot of Friday looking pretty quiet out there. That's why you're going to be going to school. That's why people are going to be going to work out there on your Friday, because things are mainly going to be quiet, especially on the front half of the day. And look, even seeing some shower activity, just plain rain off to our south. We could see some rain trying to creep in into your evening hours, but it's not until we head later on in the evening. I'm thinking 6 to 8 p.m. we start to see this kind of knocking on our doorstep. You can see this is at 6:30 out there on your Friday. A lot of the state of Arkansas seeing this by Friday evening, trying to creep over across the Mississippi River at best. But a lot of us still seeing pretty quiet conditions out there for your Friday into the evening hours. This will continue to push through into your later evening and then be impacting us a lot for your Saturday. Again, we're going to be looking at a lot of model runs. This is our strike model that's just been pretty consistent with a lot of our long range models that we look at in terms of what exactly we're going to be seeing. Still looking like a mix of things the further north you go, but take a look at this. As we progress throughout the day, a lot of us actually look to see just some cold rain. We'll talk about what exactly your primary precip type is going to be coming up in the next few minutes, but I do want to just show you the overall timing of this on this future cast, because we're looking at kind of multiple rounds from this. The first one going to be later in the day or the evening on your Friday, overnight into a lot of our Saturday. And then we're looking at the potential of another round coming in as we head later in the day on your Saturday and then into your Sunday. So here's where we are on our winter forecast timeline. We've been 4 to 5 days out looking for consistency. Here's where we are now. 2 to 3 days out, we're continuing to prepare that forecast. We're getting a better idea of what our precip type is going to be. If you've been following us on social media, we've been posting that. We've been talking about it in all of our live broadcasts. We'll talk about it today as well. We'll have a better idea of location and the overall timing as well. And then as we get even closer to time, so talking tomorrow, we're going to be more of a call to action, identifying specifically what you can expect in terms of timing, location, and those impacts. However, we'll talk about the latest impacts of what you can expect going into your weekend coming up in this live broadcast as well. So coming up next, we're going to be talking about all those things. Of course, we'll talk about your precip type, what those models are looking like this morning, the potential of ice across the area as well versus just plain cold rain. All of those details coming up next. So if you want to know what's going to be happening with your specific area into the weekend, I encourage you to stick with us. We'll have all those details coming up right after this.
At First Choice Bank, we know you can't always make it before the bank closes. With our integrated teller, you can talk to a live person as late as 7 p.m. on weekdays and noon on Saturdays. It's not just an ATM, it's an ITM. First Choice Bank, your choice for banking.
Look at Wanda, ready to rock her big presentation. But first, lunch. Sweet Pepper's Deli. Delicious, celebratory, but is it quick? The Cobb salad. Tender oven-roasted chicken, topped with cheese. Prepared, plated, and served? In 6 minutes? Is this for real? Well, of course. Well done, Wanda. Sweet Pepper's Deli. Yes, ma'am. Life is sweet.
When you've been injured, don't settle for a lawyer who doesn't even know where you live. Call Langston and Lott. Local lawyers, personal service, real results.
Right now, from the Room to Room Weather Center, here's meteorologist Maggie McAuley.
Hey, good morning. Welcome back to the Room to Room Weather Center. I'm meteorologist Maggie McAuley. Thanks as always for tuning in here to Mississippi Live Weather. The time now is 7:13 out here on your Thursday. Thanks as always again for tuning in and trusting us with all of your weather information going into the weekend. We'll have a full look at your weekend forecast coming up. Want to show you what we're looking like out the door this morning first. Take a look. We are seeing a little bit of an active radar in our Mama Justice Mississippi Live radar this morning. Some light shower activity, especially in northeast Mississippi from Lee County all the way down into portions of Oktibbeha County as well, even down into Attala County, seeing some light shower activity this morning. We did get a few reports of some sleet along 22 and Blue Springs this morning, but overall temperatures and ground temperatures are warm enough for that not to be too impactful, at least just yet. We know things are going to be a lot more impactful as we head into the weekend. So light showers, that's the majority of what's going on across northeast Mississippi this morning. Northwest Mississippi, though, from Senatobia, Batesville, Grenada, and folks sitting off closer to the Mississippi River starting off quiet out there this morning and not dealing with that rain like a lot of the rest of us. Here's a live look over in Pontotoc. A lot of cloud cover to start off your day as well. Temperatures, again, above freezing in Pontotoc, 43 degrees. Definitely not starting off too chilly by any means. Another live look over in Starkville as well. Thanks as always for tuning in and joining the conversation. Make sure to continue to do that as well. I'm going to move some things around so I can see what you guys are saying as well. But again, any questions you have, I encourage you to keep putting right there in that chat. Of course, we will do our best to answer all of these. And good morning to everybody. Thanks as always for tuning in and always saying good morning to us. I know a lot of us want to know exactly what's going to be going on in my town. I think I said that at 6:30 as well. Most of our questions are what's going to be going on in my backyard, in my city, in my town. And of course, we're probably going to answer that throughout your future cast, throughout this entire broadcast. So I just encourage you to sit back, let us show you what's going to be going on over the next few days. And then, of course, we will get to your questions as well. But make sure to join the conversation out there within all of our streaming platforms. Temperatures over in Starkville, lots of cloud cover, and again, above freezing in the 40s there as well. Most of us starting off this morning in the 40s across the board here in North Mississippi, including those down in Oktibbeha County as well. Got to click back on my screen here. Let's talk about your hour by hour forecast throughout your mid-morning hours, hitting the roadways maybe not until 10, 11 a.m. Still seeing temperatures in the 40s, middle to upper 40s as we head throughout the day. About a 10% chance. Rain chances do go down as we head throughout your day ahead. So that's some good news if you do have any plans out there. High temperatures, I encourage you to get out, enjoy these while we have them. This is average for this time of year. That's what we're expecting this afternoon. Low 50s for a majority of the area, 52 in Houston, 52 in Starkville, 52 in Eupora as well. And again, you can see that normal high on the top of your screen there coming in at 53 for this time of year. So that's where a majority of us are going to be throughout your afternoon ahead. Now let's take it hour by hour. Buckle in. We're going to be talking about today all the way into your weekend forecast. Again, we're looking at different model runs. We'll talk through what exactly this one is saying. But overall, we're looking majority at timing from this than we are your overall precip type. So here's a look at Thursday, today all the way through noon. Again, mainly just dealing with cloud cover, especially for the southern half of the area. Yeah, we could see a few sprinkles out there, but dry for the most part. Then we go into Friday. And I've said this before, I'll keep saying it. Majority of Friday is actually pretty quiet and not impactful out there. That's why most of us are going to be going to school. Most of us are going to be going to work out there on your Friday because things are actually going to look pretty quiet during the day. Now, I'm not saying we couldn't see a few mixed precipitation, a few little light showers trying to creep in noon and on, especially for northwest Mississippi, but the big impacts don't arrive till later. Take a look. This is at 6 p.m. That's when we'll really start to see this system kind of knocking on our doorstep. Majority of that activity still sits within the state of Arkansas. But as we head further into dinner time, into those overnight hours, that's when that moisture decides to slide east. And we're going to be getting the impacts from that as we head Friday night and on. So I encourage you, as you are picking the kiddos up from school on your Friday afternoon, headed back from work, maybe at 5, 6 o'clock, have your dinner time plans at home and know where you're going to be from then on, because that's when this really decides to slide in. Majority of mixed precipitation we're looking at right now is going to be in northwest Mississippi, especially starting out on your Friday. Let's go into your Saturday. I want to show you this. This kind of looks like a messy go of things, doesn't it? And almost, our futurecast almost kind of looks like camo right here. I said that at 6:30, right? Because models are still trying to figure out what exactly we're going to be getting. That's why we're seeing kind of this mixture of things in certain places. But here's the thing. A lot of us here in northwest Mississippi are looking to see some type of mixed precipitation. The further south and east you go, the more your likelihood of just seeing some cold rain out there. Matt, wouldn't you agree? And even this model, as we head into the afternoon, transitions us to all of just rain into your Saturday afternoon as things get warmer. I don't know if I agree with that, but things definitely looking likely more the south that you go.
Yeah, so I don't know that we've seen a dramatic shift. I'm going over the overnight models right now. We'll touch on that a lot more at 7:30. But I think what happens is I think most of this does melt into a rain, but I think the distinction that I think you and I have to work on the messaging here, and Gabe and then Weather Service and any other meteorologist, is that freezing rain is not just rain when we talk about that. If the temperature is below freezing at the surface, freezing rain is when we say ice storm, what we're talking about. It is rain that freezes on contact, and that's what then coats the ground, coats trees and power lines. And so that is, while I think we do melt it into largely rainfall, does it refreeze? And that remains the question. Futurecast, that particular version there, is going a little warmer than some. I'm breaking down in particular that freeze line at the surface and where that's positioned in the models and how that's evolving. That's what I'm kind of working around behind the scenes here. We'll talk a lot more about that at 7:30, but I would say that, looking at that projection there, I think that's probably too warm at this point because notice how the wind direction there, you have the wind direction out of the north all the way down to practically Macon on that particular direction. If you just look kind of the dots. That tells me that it thinks that whatever frontal boundary it is as far south as close to Macon. If that's the case, I think north of that boundary, it's largely below freezing. So I think that is not resolving it well, and I think that's exactly what we expect. The first fight in the description of this was snow, not snow. I think we've answered that. This is largely not snow. The next fight is ice versus rainfall, and that almost exclusively comes down to where the coldest air at the surface comes in. That's what we'll have a lot more at 7:30, but I would say looking at that graphic there, it sees total melting to rainfall for most of this, still potentially some sleet mixing in, but then does it refreeze? That's the question we have to answer.
Right. And I said before, again, when we're showing this, more looking at timing than overall your precip type.
Yes.
We'll get into that overall later, but this is looking to come in a little bit of multiple rounds, Matt, as we go through your Saturday. And then as we go into Sunday. So more looking at the overall timing from this. Again, this shows us kind of an early look at timing as we head all the way through your Sunday. So that's Saturday as well. Go ahead.
Well, you nailed it. This is an early look. Our version of
Mhm.
Futurecast here, what we call the strike model, is the only model that we can look at that has high resolution 96 hours out like this, and it's exclusive here to Mississippi Live Weather. And all of our regular high resolution models that we look at behind the scenes, we're just now starting to get the Saturday morning on those. So
Yeah.
all of those will help us really nail down that lowest level cold air, and even strike is going to improve dramatically over the next day or so. The reason we don't run high resolution models super far out is because little details make a huge difference, and it looks like radar, right? I mean, that looks like what radar could look like, but every model run you've ever seen so far on this event is wrong. How and when is what we're going to have to decide. Of course, at 7:30, I'll look a lot more at that.
Yeah, right. And again, this model just early look at things, showing you overall what we could see going in to your weekend. Not necessarily, again, I told you, don't take a look, take it with a grain of salt of what your overall precip type is looking like going into your weekend. We'll talk more about precip type coming up in the next few minutes. But overall, what you need to know is we could see multiple rounds from this, and another round even sticking around as we head Saturday night into your Sunday. So keeping our eye on that. I want to give you a big picture look. Matt's going to talk more about this later as well, but your primary precip type, even across the United States, again, Matt's going to hone in on this more specifically closer in to North Mississippi. But take a look. This has been dramatically changed if you've been keeping up with us from Monday, Tuesday, going into today. More primarily snow the further off to the north that you get. A lot of models Monday, Tuesday had that snow well down even into our area. But again, that's why we haven't showed you any accumulations, because things have changed so drastically, pushing that primary portion of snowfall well off to our north in places like Missouri, Illinois. Matt, you agree? You have any thoughts on that?
I don't have the iPhone app. I want to know what it says up there for you in Senatobia on snowfall totals. Because this is one of those things, again, this is why we don't show snowfall totals. As many people, as we find in the chat that go, well, tell us just how much from my location. The reason we don't tell it 3-4 days out is because that number is going to wildly change. And then people are going to look at us and say, well, you were wrong. No, that's why we're not telling you numbers. So what is your number in Senatobia now?
Well, it's getting a lot better. Yesterday it said like 19 to 20. Today, 1 to 2. What a change. What a drastic change.
That's why we have not shown snowfall accumulation maps, is because we were talking yesterday. If you were watching, as you heard earlier on, obviously, about that snow eater that we've talked so much about and how that's eaten the snowfall totals. Even in Senatobia, Northwest Mississippi, it's almost completely done that. Mm-hmm. And I even think that's probably aggressive on the snowfall amounts there. So clearly, as you can see, the standard app that comes with your phone lacks a little bit to be desired. It's part of the reason why we highly recommend that you download the Mississippi Live Weather app. It is oh man, I didn't realize that was going to change her behind the scenes. Well, hold on, I should be able to merge that over. Give me a moment. There we go. You're back. But is to download that app is because if you download the Mississippi Live Weather app, it will keep you up to date with everything that you need to know. And actually have a forecast that's manipulated by a human, not just coming from computers or AI or something like that.
Yeah, no, that's right. And we have been specifically even changing our wording when it comes to Saturday night, Sunday within your app. So even the wording that you see when you click on that day is coming from us typing in what we think is going to happen, and not just a generated what is happening with our forecast overall. So anyway, I encourage you, just like Matt, make sure to have that app downloaded.
Absolutely. I see that our time is 7:25, so I'll keep my mouth quiet so we can finish this one, but get ready for 7:30. But of course, we'll talk a lot more about everything then.
Yep. And I just have a few more things to show, but I just want to show you your primary precip type. This is not saying that some of us closer to the Tennessee state line couldn't see, yes, maybe a little bit of snow, but your primary precipitation type across the United States, a lot of our area, especially the northern and western sections, primarily getting that sleet to freezing rain mix over. And then the further south that you go, especially into central, southern Mississippi, a lot of the state of Alabama as well, primary going to be some cold rain out there. But again, where is that line setting up between sleet, freezing rain, and just cold rain? That's what we're going to be talking about at 7:30. Let's talk about your overall winter threats. This has changed over your last 12 hours. Still, the lowest level out there is accumulating snowfall. The level everybody wants to be the highest is the lowest. So that's just something to note. Most of us not getting in on that fluffy, nice accumulating snowfall. Level 4 out there, we have increased this for ice and sleet accumulations. But again, the big question is, who gets the majority of that? And that's something we're going to be looking at over your next few hours ahead, and even within the 7:30 newscast, but especially throughout the day. Level 3 still for heavy rainfall for some, especially the further south that you go, and still those high threat levels as we head for impacts and sub-freezing temperatures. Matt, any thoughts on the winter threats?
I think we need to go down to level 1 on the snowfall there, so that so we show that the confidence is probably not happening for many spots. Yeah, and so for Sydney, who's on the chat there and says, so is Starkville safe? I'm so confused. The thing is that we are still assessing where how far south that freezing rain is going to come. And that's one of the things, of course, we'll come up and talk about at 6:30. Okay, I'll go ahead and get off of this and let you kind of finish things out.
Okay, after this, we got our 7-day forecast. So we don't got a lot to go, guys, before we get into 7:30. And me and Matt are going to be talking more back and forth. Here's a look at your high temperatures. Again, I just want to encourage you or show you this before we get your 7-day forecast, just to show you how cold things are going to be getting even within this overall forecast in the days after as well. 28 on Sunday, 27 out there on your Monday. So very cold air settling in with this forecast even after things are all said and done through your weekend. Here's a look at your 7-day forecast. 50s today, 40s tomorrow, 30s on your Saturday. We have adjusted this number slightly, a little bit warmer out there on your Saturday. So again, that overall where that line is between freezing and above freezing will determine what type of precip we get throughout the area. So keeping a close eye on temperatures on Saturday. 20s out there on Sunday. Monday and Tuesday, the main impacts, one, are going to be whatever does fall is going to be sticking around all the way, especially through your Tuesday morning, and just how cold it is. 27 for a high, low temperature on your Monday morning, 9, 4, low single digits out there on Tuesday morning. So definitely some cold conditions that we're going to have to brace for after all is said and done through the weekend. So that's look at your 7-day forecast. Of course, we're going to be going back on at 7:30, more of an extended look of what you can see. Matt's going to go over different models, what they're looking like this morning. We'll talk more of what your primary precip within North Mississippi specific areas are going to be. Again, that's in terms of sleet, freezing rain, just cold rain. So make sure to tune in with us. We'll be live coming up in the next few minutes at 7:30.
When choosing a dentist for our family, Tupelo Smiles was the answer for us. They greet us with warm smiles right when we walk in the door, and they make us feel so welcome. We love Tupelo Smiles.
Even though Gabe grew up in Alabama, Mississippi has now become his home and his family. And one thing about Gabe is he keeps his family safe.